It's time.
All right, here we go.
The Cocktail Show.
Get ready to have a good time.
Let's have a good time.
This is exciting, isn't it?
Oh, I like that.
Hello, testing.
Welcome aboard the Dreamliner.
It's the only way to fly.
Wow.
I've allotted 1 hour for recreational activity. There's no time for irrelevant conversation. Fun will now commence.
Cocktail Show.
Gary.
Here's a young speaker who is really in demand.
Don't let that go to your head, Gary.
But wait, there's more.
I'm the guy.
Finger gun.
Gary Meier.
3, 2, 1, 0.
This is the Garry Meier Show. Cocktail Hour.
Live.
Cocktails. Ooh, drinks.
We're streaming live at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central.
On Friday, December 13th, 2024. Exclusively on the GarrForce Live YouTube channel. And of course, no matter where you are, it's time for a digital mimosa. As Garry said in today's pre-board show, I am just back from a cruise. It was an invited media 3-night preview cruise aboard Disney Cruise Line's brand new, just built and christened ship, the Disney Treasure, which is now preparing for its December 21st, 2024 maiden voyage. The Treasure will make its home port at Port Canaveral in Central Florida, and will typically sail 7-night cruises to the Bahamas and Caribbean. Or do you say Caribbean? In the 3-night cruise, Disney Treasure showed off just some of the highlights of what guests can expect aboard. The ship offers up a ton of Disney entertainment, from a brand new Broadway-style show featuring Moana, to a dinner theater experience featuring characters from Disney Pixar's Academy Award-winning film Coco, to pirate parties with fireworks at sea, and a whole lot more. Of course, the ship has kid-specific areas, and lots of characters are aboard. The central 3-deck tall Grand Hall comes alive itself from time to time. And then there are even some amazing adults-only spaces, like the Haunted Mansion Parlor that pays homage to one of the most famous attractions at Disney parks. I've posted a bunch of photos and videos already on Mouse Planet social media sites, and I'll be posting more in-depth articles on mouseplanet.com in the coming weeks. And we even have more coming up later in the show. While aboard, I caught up with WGN-TV's Marcus Leshock, and we talked about our experiences, and Marcus shares a whole bunch more about his theme park passions. I could go on, but we've got his colleague, WGN-TV's new special reports guy, Tom Skilling, waiting to go on. So for now, remember that the only way to stream the show live is
The GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
YouTube. Subscribe to the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
All of the past editions of the Cocktail Hour can be replayed on the GarrForce Live YouTube channel.
Please like and share the show on all the social media channels.
Comments during the live show, wherever we are streaming, can be seen in our virtual studio.
We may show them on the screen
and or talk about them.
That's good. Disappeared.
Thank you for your attention.
Now, fasten your seatbelts. It's time to go wheels up on the GarrForce Live.
Live.
Here we go. On America's podcast. Boom. Shakalaka.
Thank you, Todd Pickering and Alan Dalinka. Todd is the Puerto Rican doorbell for the show. When he starts doing that live, that means we're ready to start cocktailing. And I've got to do a few things before we get started here, and we have a lot to do on this show. So let's get the tires out, let's burn them up, light them up, and then over the holidays, the condom has been removed all month, so Leslie can go holiday style this way with...
Take the cat off my lap.
Take the cat off the... Okay, that still is happening. It has to be done.
Put her over there.
Remove the cat from your lap.
Yep.
And... Pee-Pee Santa.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Pee-Pee Santa.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, what can you do for us?
Let me just fill Leslie's glass in the most inappropriate way ever.
And then she will drink it. And that will be what? Oh, Santa.
Oh, dribbles.
Santa.
What a guy. Seriously.
Can't hit the glass.
Shake.
God. Now, okay, now you've taken it from something festive and beautiful and made it ugly. Okay.
Sorry. No, it's just trying to get that off
Get
the edge there.
I'm trying to just get that pee off my dress.
Oh, and we are wiped down and ready to go.
Cheers.
Finger
Happy
guns,
holidays.
everybody.
Merry Christmas. Oh, okay. I'm ready to go.
Clarence,
How about
I
you?
agree. Red wine would be more concerning. I considered a rosé, but that looked like he might be having some trouble as well. So I'm sticking with the white.
If you're new to this entire experience, last year I thought it'd be visually stunning if she put eggnog in there, and she did, and Santa clogged.
Yeah. Oh, his mechanical prostate just couldn't take it. Our friend Brian Sheridan of Oh Yes fame has his own pee-pee Santa, it turns out, and he's filling his with bourbon. And I was thinking, now that's a color that's interesting. It's on the spectrum. I think it's the I slept too long and I really had to go first thing in the morning kind of color. But
Oh, you've analyzed the
maybe too much information.
The pee-pee altogether. And dueling pee-pee Santas, you're not going to get that on Joe Rogan. Okay. And oh yes, speaking of oh yes, they're going to perform on the program a Christmas song. Got that going. And as Alan mentioned, he will be talking to Marcus Leshock, the roller coaster wrangler, about their cruise this past week.
Will we find out if there was a roller coaster on this ship?
We'll find out.
Pretty sure we will. Yep.
These ships are big enough. Some of them have auto assembly plants now.
Marcus didn't talk about it. There is a water ride on the ship called an Aqua Mouse. The Aqua Mouse involves a slide of sorts, conveyor belts. It's almost a water roller coaster. Disney calls it their first attraction at sea. It debuted on the other ship on the Wish, and the Treasure has it as well.
Got it.
There you go. I'm sure Marcus wrote it, and I didn't talk to him about it.
Alan needs to be paid something, and I'll take a hit too from them. He does an incredible job. I don't know who their PR person is, but Alan should be.
So I watched the Great Light Fight for the first time this season, and it was a couple of gentlemen who were way too into it. Holy shnikes. I couldn't, I got overstimulated watching this thing, but I was thinking, yeah, Alan should have one of those things in the corner where he does the ad for ABC and Disney products, and they could just run his reels in the corner. It would be better than some of the stuff they put together.
Okay. And the person win that you thought should win, it was last night, right?
Like I said, I was overstimulated. I couldn't watch it all. These were two men, and they were refurbishing old animatronics from Macy's windows and Marshall Field windows and things like that. And oh my gosh, it was just crazy. And then they actually took a part of their house and sectioned that off and made a toy factory with a conveyor belt.
Oh my God, really? And they probably didn't win, knowing how they give out that damn $13 trophy at the end.
Well, and they had their own kind of trophy simulated thing to start their whole production.
And
then the one they give away at the end. So it's
that's gotta be part of the inside joke with ABC. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give them a trophy at the end after they put up 1 million lights, and our trophy looks like it was bought at some swap meet for $5.
It was at we pieced it together at Hobby Lobby in about 17 minutes. So,
and none of the other people are going to win anything, and it's going to be wonderful.
Those people. Oh, Garrett, thank you.
Got it. Okay, I saw Kellyanne on the top of the heap. Let's start with her. She's always first. I dropped the mistletoe while trying to hang it. It bounced off my schnauzer and landed at a camel toe near the manger. I swear Joseph smiled. That'll happen. Thank you, Keely.
So much going on at the holidays.
Hey, before I go on, I talked about this in the green room with y'all. I looked up, and it's Friday the 13th, and this is a very intense day for me. My father died on this day 33 years ago, so that as happens with loved ones, right? I looked up and I thought, oh, that's a full moon. So I'm feeling that because that always kicks my ass. And then we looked it up. It's only 97% full. And I'm thinking, oh, I got 97% ass kicked today. And as soon as I said that, our whole feed dropped out. And I'm like, I mean, really, between the drones, over New Jersey or whatever the hell that is, and
don't worry, they're not foreign drones. We're not going to tell you whose drones they are. We kind of maybe don't know, or maybe we do and we're not telling you. But in the meantime, this is how you create a conspiracy theory.
And we're off and running. All right, next up, Brian, there he is. Pee-pee Santa doesn't feel the burn. Keep the champagne in the bottle this holiday season. Okay.
We learned that from Natalie Wood and
here
Dennis
we go.
Hopper.
Wow, you are really, your urologist hat is out tonight. Okay. On the program many years ago on the radio show, it wasn't James Dean. He was dead.
Dennis Hopper, right?
Dennis Hopper. And he told the story about how he and James Dean and Natalie Wood got to Hollywood together. And
they were young.
They were very young and hanging out. And something happened where they were going to celebrate. One of them got a job, or all three of them got a job. And he said, we decided to have a champagne bath. So they filled this bathtub with champagne, and Natalie got in first and said her vajayjay was burning.
It was stingy. It was very, very stingy.
Yes, and you don't hear that on Joe Rogan either.
No. And
Okay.
he does like a 3-hour freaking show.
Yeah. And what has he got to show for it? Okay, never mind. All right, what else do we have here in the comments? David is here every week. I know of one thing the Schnauzer would love for Christmas, and it's always in stock. Oak Lawn checking in from Illinois. Yes. It's always a stocking stuffer. Charles from WRLR, Gurnee, Illinois, checking in. Hey, Charles, always good to see you. And Lloydster, hoping to find a ho-ho-ho for the holidays. Holidays. I hope you do too, Lloydster. And Tim, asking Santa for Ozempic this year so I can get my Vera Ellen waist on. Yeah, we're in the Vera Ellen waist season. You want an 18-incher. That's the waist size. 18 inches, the size of a CD, and you're in business. So she was anorexic. You get it any way you can.
And they say it wasn't her. That's not what made her neck sensitive. I don't know.
No. Sammy from Mundelein, Illinois. Hello. And everybody in that movie, White Christmas, is skinny as hell. Everybody was skinny before, I'd say, 1983. That's when it all turned.
I always felt bad for Rosemary Clooney because she was probably a size 6.
I don't know what that is in women's sizes, but you're saying she wasn't overweight, but next to everybody else who was 19 pounds.
When you're standing around a bunch of skeletons, oh, look at that girl with some meat on her bones. Yeah, it's called healthy.
Yeah, she was normal, but didn't look it next to those people. Dale, Wheatfield, Indiana. Hello. And Greg from Decula, Friday the 13th. Yeah, I hope it's been okay with you, and that black cat that Leslie has is good luck. The 13th, 13 is my lucky number. I hope.
No problem there.
Naperville, Illinois, with Kathleen. Hello. Good to see you. And David, Venice, Florida. Hello.
Wait.
Kevin.
Can I just skip ahead before he gets lost here? Roe is sharing a piece of knowledge that is brand new to me. Katharine Hepburn's dad was a urologist, and in later years, whenever she had, here you go, she had company, she always made guests urinate when they arrived and before they left because a empty bladder is a happy bladder.
That's what my bumper sticker says. There's empty it, Santa. Go on.
I don't remember which international airline it was a few years ago, but some international airline was making all the passengers do that before they got aboard to save the weight for fuel purposes.
Oh, Christ.
That makes sense, though.
Hey, I have to thank one of our longtime listeners and supporters, Doggy boy, Matt. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Matt. And look what he sent me. He sent me a bejesus belt. I'm always talking about the bejesus belt. He found one and sent me a bejesus belt that I'll wear during the holidays because it's my Savior's birthday coming up. Thank you, Matt. I hope your birthday's good.
And while we're doing birthdays, I forgot to mention that yesterday was Marcus Leshock's birthday as well. So we have him on just in time.
Hello, December people. Yeah.
So what is it? 4th of July where the parents got all wacky? Is that how that
Look
time
at you now trying to figure out coitus schedules.
Sorry.
You're sassy tonight, Leslie.
Biologically sound.
You have a lot
or unsound
of stuff coming out of that little pie hole of yours that we're loving.
It's Santa. He gets me started.
Chris Gilbert AZ hanging out with that Mac guy in Queens Creek. Let's drink, my homies. Yeah, that's what we're here for. Who else? Patty. Hello. Clarence. And
this is the best time of year to be named Clarence.
Okay.
It's a wonderful life.
Yes, it is. Leanne, and hello from 815. Hello, Leanne. Sandy, sounds like you got a good one for us today. That's what I hope. You never know. We start off like Steve Harvey. It's a good one for you, but we don't know. We might hit some goo. Hope we don't. Martin, British Columbia, he's here every week. Thank you, Martin. Deb Des Plaines, checking in to see Tom. Yeah, we're going to see him in about 2 minutes here. Thomas Devon Tom from Whitewater, Wisconsin. Whitewater matters. Hey now, Scott's Vintage.
Scott's got some cool giveaways for us this week.
He's added in.
Yeah, he's always been there for us from the very beginning.
And
honestly,
Cindy from Wheelings here, and Tracy. We love Tracy because she is a provider of the GarrForce for a lot of things. Racing.
We got super thankful. Hang on. Get out of the way, Teeny. So in addition to the fact that she sent us a whole nother case of Slinkies, look what just arrived in the mail this week. Gliders. They used to be made out of balsa wood, but it's the 2020. So now they're made out of foam. But I bet you it gets some really awesome lift, and we'll be giving one of these away. Thank you, Tracy.
And take it out to New Jersey and fly it. Hello, Mr. Skilling. Hello. Hello, Mr. Skilling.
Awesome.
Where's Tom? This is the best person, right? Hello.
Hello, Garry.
Dueling Toms. We got dueling.
Wait. I got one too.
It's a hat trick.
Hey, and I've got a cape one too. Look at this.
A caped one. Wow. I hope you're getting a taste of these, Tom. Who's putting these out? Oh, Jesus. Here we go. We're already starting with
these, Garry. But Garry, it's kind of embarrassing when your bobbleheads look better than the real thing.
Tom, who gets the money for these?
Well, this is the station, and this is the Climate Museum downtown in Chicago here.
Why don't you get a taste?
What's that?
Why don't you get a piece of the action?
You know what? I didn't even. They called me one day from the station and said, "Hey, there's a company who wants to do a bobblehead of you." And I said, "Sure, go ahead." I had no idea what they were, although I did see the Harry Carey one. Hey, by the way, guys, hello.
What? He buried the hello. Wait a minute. We're not gonna slide past this. Are these people that are putting your bobblehead out? Are they the ones that did the Beatles marketing? Because the Beatles deal in marketing during their run was they got 10%, the marketers got 90%. You're getting 0.
I get 0.
But Garry, why wasn't that conversation? I don't want to stir anything up here.
I don't know, Garry. I'll tell you. When I retired, there was so much going on. I didn't even think about it.
Well, that's what they're counting on. Let's get him while he's retired and not thinking.
Well, you know what else? I guess I was so flattered that anybody would want to do anything with this face that.
No, Tom, come on.
Didn't think
oh my God, they did like a 2-week goodbye. People were like calling in and weeping like you had passed away, for heaven's sake. I mean,
Leslie, that had to be the world's most overcovered retirement in American history. You know, I just
you deserved it, brother. And that's why they've called you back, because you've been retired almost a year, and as everybody would know, without a Tom Skilling, you got no ratings. So the phone rings a couple of months ago. I'm sure, hey Tom, would you do something? Please come back.
You know what? You got to understand that you're partially responsible for that, because you, back in the Steve Garry days, it introduced me to a whole audience, a whole demographic that didn't even know who I was. I remember, Garry, do you remember when you called me up and you said, hey, we do these shows at, what is Park West? And you called me up one day and you said, would you appear on stage? And here's the thing we're thinking about. We'll have Tommy Skillehead on stage. Steve will be doing that, and he'll walk off and say, oh, I forgot my maps. And then I'm supposed to walk on. And I remember, Garry, you know, you were on that stage. It was so floodlit, you couldn't see the audience. So I remember Steve walked off and I walked on, and there was dead silence. And I thought for a moment, my God, this whole thing is dying. And then there was a voice that said, oh, it's the real Tommy Skillehead. And the place went crazy. Well, I mean, it was, thank heavens. Because
as I've said many times, Tom, walking down the street with you is like walking with a beetle. I mean, you get just swamped by people who love you, as they should. You are so gracious and such a warm person. And you gave me the bumper sticker that I cherish. Every day is like a shit sandwich where you take a bite. And that's one of my favorite Tom Skilling phrases.
Well, you know where that came from? I had a friend who worked as a part-time engineer as he was finishing up at Northwestern University at WLS and other stations. And he knew we would sit and talk about all the disc jockeys on WLS. And there was a guy who did the all-night show there, Jerry Kay, who he told me his philosophy on life was that life was like one big shit sandwich, and going through every day was like taking another bite out of it. And so one day I got, you know, I used to show these weather pictures on the air, and I was on the midday show, and there was a guy named Jerry Kay who sent in this picture, and I just said on the air, gee, I wonder if that's the Jerry Kay who did the all-night show on WLS radio. So thinking nothing of it, I went back to the office after the noon show was over, and the message light was blinking, and I listened to it, and this message said, Tom, Larry Lujak here, give me a call. And Larry was off the air by then. I thought he had retired. And so I called him back and I said, Larry, I said, I thought you'd retired. He said, no, and moved into Mexico. He said, no, that's next year. But he said, I was watching your show and you brought up Jerry Kay. He said, how the hell did you know who Jerry Kay was? And I told him this story about my friend talking. I said, we used to sit around and talk about all you guys in the big time. I was working at a little radio station out in Aurora at the time, never dreaming I'd ever work in the Chicago market. Wow. And, you know, and we would talk about everybody. And that's where I heard the story about Jerry Kay and his philosophy on life. And
the shit sandwich. I love it. And here, I told this story because it's the only time I think you were rude to any, and I don't even know if it was taken as this because these were kids, where you were sitting in the cafeteria at the TV station, and that's where they taped Bozo.
Yeah.
And these kids all piled into the cafeteria, and they were noisy. And you turned to them and said, what did you say to them?
No, I wasn't me. I can't take credit for that. We would have lunch, some of us in the newsroom, and we'd try to carry on a conversation. And all the parents and these little kids were lining up for the Bozo show, and it was getting louder and louder. And it would build so gradually that you didn't realize you were screaming across the table to carry on a conversation. So this one guy I worked with in the WGN-TV traffic department, he had this beautiful English accent. I think he was raised in Rhodesia or something like that. And they had these beautiful English accents. And we're screaming at each other, trying to carry on a conversation. He turns around, he says, go home. He said, Bozo died. And you know, we're sitting there horrified because they hear these little kids with all their parents. And you could just picture these 3- and 4-year-olds dissolving into tears, thinking Bozo had really died. But thank goodness it was so noisy, they never heard it.
Well, it became urban legend where I associated it with you, and that's how it went out. It's like that story about Jane Fonda on Johnny Carson.
Right.
And she came on and said, I got to ask you, my son said he saw this and confirm. Zsa Zsa Gabor was on one night, and she
Right.
had a cat on her lap, and she said to Johnny, "Would you like to pet my pussy?" And he said, "Yes, if you take that cat off your lap." and that that's on
for the time, Gary.
That's on the internet. I mean, she did say that, but he denied that ever happened in the first place. Yeah.
Remember when he had, what was his name, Ed Ames on, and they were doing the hatchet,
throwing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, I got to ask you, you're doing these specials now for the station that needs you so much. And
I don't know
they do. I'll talk for you. Don't worry. And you're doing one about pilots and weather. I'd like to talk about that.
You know what, Gary? I've been going out to Hawaii back and forth, and I was sitting on the plane in Honolulu, and the captain comes back, and he said, "Oh, I saw you on the roster. I just wanted to come back and say hello." And I thought, boy, that is really cool. But I said to him, you know, I'm planning to do some occasional reports with WGN on science subjects, and I always wanted to talk to a commercial airline pilot about how you guys brief yourselves on the weather you're going to encounter, where the turbulence will be. And he says, wait a minute. He runs back to the cockpit and he comes out and he has his laptop computer. And here's the whole trek from Honolulu back to Chicago with beautiful multicolored graphics laying out what the upper winds he was going, where the jet stream was, and what the upper winds on our path back to Chicago was going to be, indicating where areas of turbulence would be. I said, Captain, would you, his name is Kevin Sprague, nicest guy. He's flown with United Airlines for 37 years. And I said, would you mind if we come out with a crew and talk to you and tell us how you know, a lot of people will be traveling over the holidays and all, how it is you check on the weather on these flights? Oh, he said, I'd love to do it. So we went out to O'Hare last week with a film crew, and he said, we got out there and we're working with United Airlines folks. He flies a Boeing 787 Dreamliner between Chicago and Honolulu and back again. And he said, come on into my office. So it was a couple hours. He was going to do the flight out to Honolulu, and we talked to him about how the weather data they get flying commercially has changed over the years, and what, you know, a revolution there's been, and how much data they get today. And I was asking him, you know, for instance, can you change the flight? How do you know what flight you're going to fly to maximize the effect of a tailwind? And he said, well, here's how. You know, we have a whole meteorology team that tells us how we do it and tells us when to anticipate turbulence, and how he can talk to other pilots flying ahead of him who have hit turbulence, and they know to turn the seatbelt sign on and to tell the flight attendants, don't serve meals because it's going to get really rough. And I was glad to hear that. But
so the airports all have their own weather center.
Oh, yeah.
And then the pilots go into the weather center before their flight, get all the data, right?
United has, at their operations center, which is out in Arlington Heights, they have their whole weather team. They will brief them on the weather. And it was funny because Captain Sprague, Kevin, called me he said, I'm in my cockpit. We were setting up a shoot. And he said, I'm sitting here and I'm adjusting the path back to Chicago from San Francisco. I'm sitting here on the ground in San Francisco. And he said, I just changed the route we're going to follow so we can maximize the tailwind and get back faster and save fuel on the way. So it's really interesting. And then this week we were out at Argonne. They've got a new exascale computer. It's the fastest computer in the world. This thing does a billion operations per second. And it will be used to map the human brain. And they're going to try and model how cancer spreads through the body and other diseases, so they can develop better medicines and better understand the dynamics. They're also going to look to crack the code on fusion, so that we might have an unlimited source of clean energy. If we can ever figure out how this fusion energy works, you know, it'll be an amazing time. We'll have an unlimited supply of clean energy available, and they're working on that. They're working on better batteries. They're working on better models to forecast climate and forecasting. You know, Gary, a billion operations per second. It's impossible to get your mind around that, how fast it is. But
I don't have to, because the computer will do it for me. I don't get my mind around anything anymore. Well, I know the big the big question, Tom, is
Yeah.
How much of the country, I know you've told me this over the years, you can't really predict the weather beyond a week with any accuracy.
Well, this artificial intelligence is working. And this is a whole different ballgame. You know, the computers we use now solve very complex fluid dynamics physics equations to calculate where the weather is going. This new AI generated forecast, and they've been trying these out, they don't use any physics. They're not quite sure how the computer does it, but it will take the current weather situation. It's got 50 years, these AI models, 50 years of data in, and they start looking at all the conditions at the moment from the ground level up into the jet stream, and they find comparable situations, and they can generate in a matter of minutes a forecast out to 15 days, which is showing signs of being pretty cool, and it may extend the reach beyond the range of current computer models using this AI-driven thing.
Well, then you can predict the white Christmases around the country because we're less than 15 days out.
Yeah.
All right, and
this. A billion operations a second. Yeah, who can get their hands around how fast?
I still can't. My hands, my mind, nothing. I can't get around anything.
It's unbelievable. Well, here's what they said. Here's how to look at that. They said if you put a computer in the hands of every human being on the face of the planet, and told them go ahead and start computing, in 4 years, all the people on the planet working with a computer will have done the computations that this computer at Argonne will do in 1 second. And that's what a billion operations. Another way to look at a billion operations is the first time a machine has done calculations that equal the number of calculations that go on in a human brain. This is amazing stuff. We're going to new territory. And
we're all doomed is what you're saying. I mean, these computers are just going to push us aside because they can do everything.
Yeah. Well, somebody once said, I heard an interview with Eric Schmidt, who was a former CEO of Google, and he was talking about how we got to be really careful about this because these machines are going to be smarter than we are very fast. And I heard somebody say, we better teach these programmers to be sure these computers understand that we humans are okay in their book. We're not the enemy. Because the day may come, like in a sci-fi movie, where these things could get smarter than we are and decide, hey, we can be thrown aside,
Right. Well, Merry Christmas. Now, let's get back to that supercomputer. White Christmas, then, across the country is what you're saying.
Well, I'll tell you, I think we're going to have trouble in the Midwest getting one. We got an ice storm developing in Iowa and southern Minnesota and far western Illinois. We're going to get rain by the time it gets here on Saturday, but at least we're going to get out of this deep freeze that saw us down to 3 above this morning in Chicago and yesterday morning too. The 2 coldest temperatures so far this winter. Fortunately, the cold spells seem to be hitting and then moving on quickly. It's one of these La Nina winters where you go quickly between Arctic air and Pacific air. Arctic air is cold, Pacific air is mild here in the Midwest. So,
hey, you guess who's on next Friday on the show? Dieter Sturm. Dieter Sturm. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
The snowmaker, the Academy Award-winning snowmaker. And Tom and I had a Dieter Sturm moment many years ago.
We did.
Yeah. And that's how Dieter and I became friends. And he's so good at what he does. I mean,
Dieter would
you need snow, he should make it for you.
That's a great show, Gary. I remember he would be hired by these movie companies to produce snow so that they have snow on the ground for their movies that they're doing where they need snow on the ground.
And his is so realistic. It's beautiful.
It is.
So when is the weather and pilot piece on?
Well, we don't know yet, Gary. We got some more filming to do, but it'll be in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
I'll put it up on my Facebook page.
All right. And everything else is good. I mean, you're spending time in our 50th and loving that, I'm sure.
If anybody told me I'd be going to Hawaii, I'd have said you were crazy. Gary,
here's the thing, Tom. If anybody told you anything, you said they're crazy. I will never be on in Chicago. I'll never live in Hawaii. You're all crazy. And here you are.
Life's been like one surprise after another.
It's not a shit sandwich, though. That's the good thing.
It's not. It isn't. It's been pretty damn good.
Tom, I love you so much. What will the winter be like? Well, you said it's going to be back and forth, it looks like.
You know what? We centered on Chicago, our studies in house, but La Nina winters are known for their volatility. You get big temp changes fast, but when all is said and done, we found about 60% of La Nina winters was either slightly or modestly above normal temperature wise here in Chicago, even though you'd have some real cold spells embedded within that winter. So we'll see. It'll be interesting to see.
All right, Tom, always a pleasure. We'll be in touch.
Right back at you. It's so
all right, Tom Skilling, the Walt Disney of weather, the Merlin of meteorology. He is fantastic. I mean, watching him do the weather was psychedelic. I just miss that so much. All right, we are moving on here because there's a lot to do in the remaining. Well, there's no time limit. It's just that we have a lot to do.
Exactly.
And Leslie, let's start talking about the giveaway so we get ahead of that.
Oh, yeah. So what should we do as our hashtag? How about hashtag weather or skilling? Let's do a hashtag skilling because, God, it's always so much fun to have Tommy on board. And, folks, there are some people and you meet them or you just see them like on stage or in a movie and you get a sense of who they are. Tom's 100% the real deal.
Oh,
as is Mr. Meier here.
And okay, but
me too.
Tom, I mean, really, I've been friends with him for many years, and it's just a genuine feeling of this man you want to be around.
Well, and the fact that it's not one thing when we're doing this, and then when you meet us in real life, it's like, where are my people? I can't make eye contact. No, that's not Tom. So
no, not at all.
So as I was saying, seriously, it's Tracy from Wisconsin is our most generous.
She's our angel.
Donor.
She's an angel.
She is an angel.
She's an angel.
So we've got slinkies from her. She's the girl who gives us bendables. She's the person who started it all with ball liquors. And we have ball liquors. And I haven't talked to her directly. Sorry, Tracy. But look at gliders.
Gliders.
How much fun is that? Friends from Oh Yes have filled up the prize closet again. So we have Oh Yes t-shirts.
Nice.
And hopefully Brian's enjoying his pee-pee Santa right now. Sticker. Koozie. Bracelet. And a
all right.
bracelet.
Alan will push the button at the end of the program, and whoever is in the hashtag skilling queue will be eligible. What is that?
If you've won recently, once again, sit on your hands, as the teacher used to say, and let somebody else take a turn.
All right. And
that's coming up.
Pretty much if you have a season 5 magnet, that would be an obvious example of somebody who's won recently, since season 5 is within the last year.
Yes.
And so with that, here's another one for you. Another season 5 magnet. Scott from Scott's Vintage Antiques and Collectibles always gives us the fortune-telling fish. But look, I've got style.
Oh,
do you remember that? If you're from the Chicago area, oh my goodness.
You wear that to midnight mass, you're going to turn heads.
Oh, yeah. Some cool little psychedelic cubes to put in your holiday drinks. And finally, the prize that started it all, your very own wine condom.
All
right. There you go. Hashtag skilling.
Alan, let's get the sponsors in here and pay homage so we can talk to, well, we got a lot to do here. We got Oh Yes doing a Christmas song, and then you have your interview with Marcus Leshock. And Ryan's here. So we got to do this. And first, it would be Bettenhausen Automotive.
Get the best sales and service experience now at Bettenhausen on 159th Street in Tinley Park. Bettenhausen has a new look, but the same automotive DNA lives on. Get Bettenhausen's no-hassle, no-haggle buying experience. Whether you're looking for a new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, or reliable certified used, Bettenhausen has the vehicle for you with over 900 to choose from. Plus, our state-of-the-art service department is here to keep your vehicle at top performance. Showroom and service scheduling never closes at BettenhausenCDJR.com.
All right. And they'll put a big bow on a car if you're giving one for the holidays for Christmas. That'd be nice. And what's next, Alan? Tree Time or David Hochberg?
David Hochberg is closer in my queue here.
There he is. This man will save you money if you're looking for a mortgage or refi, any of that. Free consultation. Call that number. He is licensed in 43 states. He's based out of Illinois, but he can do business in 43 of our states. All right. And we're really close now, huh? The baby Jesus' birthday. Get your tree. It's not artificial. It's live adjacent. That's what I call them because they're so
That is a great
real.
way to
Yes,
term
they're
it.
more than artificial. They're live adjacent. Decorations, gifts. They are in Lake Barrington, Illinois on Pepper Road, or you're not near there. Well, let's just play the commercial. What am I doing? I could do this.
Everything Christmas, treetime.com.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, what would you like to do next, Alan? Because you're in control of the buttons.
Let's go to the Marcus Leshock discussion.
Okay, Ryan, are you there, standing by too? I don't want to ignore you.
Yes, I'm here.
You're all set? How you doing? Okay, good. All right, you were on this cruise with Marcus and had a conversation.
Yeah, here, we'll just roll it.
Hey, GarrForce, it's Alan Dalinka, Friday show producer. Look who I found in the Bahamas, in the Atlantic.
I was just floating along, and you just scooped me up.
So
your little boat here.
Marcus Leshock from WGN. Coincidentally, in the same week, we're having his buddy, his coworker. I guess he's coworker again because he told us that he's coming back.
Yeah, no, that's official now. He is back doing reports for us, Mr. Tom Skilling.
Exactly.
Tom Skilling.
So we'll say hi to Tom via video before hopefully we have Tom on later today.
That is awesome. I love Tom.
Earlier. I don't know.
Tom is one of the great people. He's very missed at WGN, but he's not gone. You know, he's like we just mentioned. He's
and they named the Weather Center for him.
Yeah, they named the Weather Center for him. He is just awesome and one of my favorite people. Was so instrumental for me when I started at WGN, encouraging me. Just giving me great comments on the air, really helped with the audience, and he's just a genuinely. You've had him on your show.
We've had him on the show.
He's just a great man. And Garry was on the same newscast with 5 p.m. news. It was me, Skilling, Marcus Leshock, Garry.
Oh wow!
It was a wild 5 p.m. news we were doing at that time. But Tom's awesome. So you're very lucky to have him on. That's great.
Looking forward to it or backward to it. I don't know
how
how that
he's
works.
going to see this, but hello, Tom. Hello, Tom. I love you.
Well. GarrForce's audience knows I've been on Disney Cruise Line before. Media's invited me before. This is Marcus's first cruise ever.
Yes.
And we're almost done. We got one night, and then they kick us off like at the crack of dawn tomorrow.
Yeah, this is abbreviated.
Yeah, and
I
this
would
is
say version of a cruise.
There are 3-night cruises.
Yeah, there
but
are.
This is a 3-night version of a ship that's normally going to sail for 7 nights.
Yeah, and they have us doing interviews and pulled in all directions. So you're not really getting the true what a person would get experience.
No, not at all.
If you went on it, so not really. It's not really. People have been asking me, like, well, what's your review? I can't really review it because
I even answered one of the commenters on your Facebook page. I'm like, no, Marcus is only on a preview cruise.
Yeah, so. it's a preview cruise for sure. But yeah, it's my first ever cruise. I've always been kind of hesitant to go on cruises because, you know, we love going and like exploring places. Obviously, I love theme parks and rides. So the idea of like being on a boat and sort of, I don't want to say stuck there is the word, but you know, you're spending a lot of time just on this ship was always kind of do I really want to do that? But they asked to come. They asked me to come.
I avoided Christmas parties on Lake Michigan when I was working downtown.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So here I am, and I can see why people love these. I can. The food is just spectacular, which is kind of shocking to me that how good it is considering you are on a boat.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about being here for the media previews, I'm sure you've talked to a lot of them, the chefs and people who create this stuff, how they have to make just the pastry chef alone said between breads and pastries and things, they make 20,000 items here on the ship for the 4,000 people that will be on board eating all this. And they make it from scratch on the boat. And everything has to be spick and span and clean and everything else. And
they make their water and they make their electricity with gas. And I mean, it's a self-contained floating city.
It is. So that's been a really cool experience to get to know it. So it has been very enlightening for sure. And I'm very tired.
And aren't we all? Entertainment highlights for you, shows, fireworks, plays, characters?
The Moana show, I think you would say that's it. The Moana show, it's the first time Moana's ever been performed on a stage before. And I don't think this will be the last time after seeing this. I think this is are almost ready for Broadway production, especially with how well the Moana movie's doing and how it does on Disney Plus. I think it's only natural to take that to a bigger platform at some point. But if you go on this cruise, you have to see that show.
The cruise director told me that more than a couple of them have Broadway credentials.
Yes.
So it's been on Broadway.
Yes.
Including one of the original members of the cast of Cats, if you can believe that.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's really neat. Yeah, the talent level on all the shows has been just spectacular. And it's really been blowing me away. It's been very good.
So Marcus also hits lots of other theme parks. I'm usually Disney limited.
Yes.
What are you looking forward to out there next year? I know you've been posting all sorts of stuff about Great America lately.
Yeah, well, Great America in Chicago's got a new dive coaster that's coming. I've been on a lot of these dive coasters, but people in Chicagoland maybe haven't. Kind of hangs you there, 96-degree drop, 7 seats across, and you hang looking straight down 171 feet straight down until it drops you. Those are the kind of things you don't find at Disney World necessarily.
The best thing you have is the Tower of Terror. And
Tower of Terror for sure. We wrote that the other day. Really fun, though. That's a really awesome ride. Still, how many years later since that opened? Still a great thrill ride.
96, I think.
Yeah, so
there's my trivia.
That'll be good at Great America. Great America's going to be getting a bunch of improvements just with the new merger. I think they're going to clean up the park and really do some good things there. And then, of course, Epic Universe. Can I say that too loud?
Yes,
here?
yes,
I shouldn't
yes.
say it too loud.
Well, I was going to jokingly start about. So, what have you learned about what's coming up with Epic Universe? But
yeah, so of course, Universal is creating its own brand new theme park that's opening in Florida. I've never been to a new just opened theme park opening before, so that'll be fun to go to.
Which is why we've heard Josh D'Amaro and Bob Iger talk about the billions Disney's going to spend to expand Walt Disney World.
Of course. And that's why if you're a
it's
Disney
an arms
fan,
race. It's great.
If you are a Disney fan, you want Epic Universe to be a huge hit.
Oh, yeah.
Because that creates more fire in the Disney people to step their game up. So I see a lot of Disney fans who are like, oh man, Epic Universe is going to be stupid and I hope it fails. Really? No, you want it to be great.
No.
Because you want then Disney to be like, all right, we got to keep adding. You want
if it fails, Disney has no reason to innovate.
Correct. And then Disney can say, see guys, that's why we're not doing... Maybe we don't do the Villain's Land now. We don't have to or something, but it's just, I think they will still, but it's, it's all of, what is the word about rising seas, raise ships?
The tide rises.
Raises all ships. Raises all ships. I don't on this boat for too long, but it's, it'll be, it's an exciting time. There's a lot of stuff happening. And, of course, all the Disney stuff too is cool, that they're doing Magic Kingdom and
how many more of these?
Yeah, there's at least one.
They're
more.
going up to 13 ships, is what they said.
13 ships.
13 ships from the current 6 with the launch of this one officially. Not even today. We're not even on an official cruise. The official cruise is the 21st.
I mean, this thing just prints money. Yeah. I mean, it's just you pay to get on, and then there's all these other things that people are buying, and they're just selling. There's all kinds of ways to empty your wallet on board one of these.
And yet it's just out of frame. Wait, I'll back up. Let's see. This Walt Disney World shirt.
Yeah.
I purchased in 2000.
That's great. See, there you go. There you go.
And your Tron hat was probably from the media event.
Yeah, it was from they gave these out at the media event when this opened.
I've got one sitting right next to the control room for the show.
Yeah. So it's it's really neat. It's just neat to be on board and see how these things work. And I can see why people really love them. The jury's out for my family, whether or not we would be longtime cruisers or not. I think I'm still more of I want to try the Adventures by Disney thing where you can book these trips and they take you all over the world. It's very expensive, right? So that's the one problem. Yeah. Even with some of these things.
Even I haven't done one of those.
Yeah, it's real expensive.
Yeah.
It's too bad because you read about it and it sounds really cool.
They sound like a ton of fun, and they're super curated, which is why they are
correct. And they're safe and ever taking you into some places and all that. But I think if I did a longer cruise and it had more stops and excursion opportunities, might like that.
Well, my reason for never having cruised before starting to do media stuff was I don't like to cruise to the Bahamas because I'm not a beach guy. I moved to Orlando. I didn't want to move to the beach.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
And so the cruises, like folks who take Bahamian cruises or Caribbean cruises or even Bermuda, those are beach destinations. You're doing beach stuff and cruise stuff. And Disney has entertainment, not cruise stuff, but your carnivals and your celebrities, and they have all sorts of more activities that are guided towards a cruise lifestyle as opposed to a Disney lifestyle. But the cruises that go places, I mean, I've talked on our show before, Alaska, amazing.
Yeah.
Each moment on the ship, once you get up to British Columbia, is just astounding. And the ports, the glaciers, the cities, fantastic stuff to see.
That's cool.
So that's something to do. Marcus Leshock, thanks, and I'll send it back to me.
Bye.
Or Garry. Yeah, maybe Garry. All right, bye.
If you guys, Alan and
Here's
Marcus,
the hat.
don't get a lot of whatever for free from Disney, then something's wrong. My God, you guys should be hired.
Yeah, well, it's a passion for people who follow the parks, and I mean, Marcus's passion goes to like the American coaster enthusiasts, and he goes to the parks that have the exclusive ride time and things of that sort. I was very interested in that sort of thing 20 years ago. I've lost some of my ability to take some of those high speed rides. I can't believe it happened. I always heard people in this age range say it, but it's happened. It's happened.
Yeah, my brain
I
pan.
can't do it.
I can't put my brain pan through that. Dangling 171 feet. Well, okay.
Don't get me wrong. Disney took very good care of us on this cruise. It's VIP
I never
all the
get
way.
you wrong.
Why would
I
I'm just
think
saying
differently?
it's exhausting what they put us through, and yet there's fun interspersed. And I mean, I'm going to fall further behind in getting my Disney Treasure content on Mouse Planet, because tomorrow I'm going over to Disney's Polynesian Resort because they're opening a brand new hotel tower called the Island Tower, which is conveniently enough themed to Hawaii, which is, increasingly my favorite destination, just like Tom's.
All right. Well, when you walk in, they should hand you a blank check. I'll tell you that.
Seriously.
All right.
Well, I'll play this. I'll play this for the folks in PR. Let them
There
know.
you go. Do it. And how about a little taste over here? All right, Ryan, you've been patient, and I know you're planning your son's birthday on Sunday, Hank's birthday. How old will he be?
He will be 9, so we have to acquire the hamster. That's still on the radar, so it'll be quite the adventure.
Okay, he wants a hamster. He's going to get a hamster.
He is, but I did give notice to Santa and my family. I don't want undershirts, and I don't want underwear for Christmas. So if that is on the list,
well, you got 8 for your
any
birthday. What? Just a couple of weeks ago, right?
No, but that doesn't stop them. So I've given notice. So that's
okay. We'll see how that goes.
So wait, what's going on with your shirt? Are you going to an event? Is there a bow tie in your future?
No, I had a busy day at work, so we had some meetings today. So
oh, you had to.
I'm a little more dressed up than I usually.
Got it. Okay.
You look great. All right, what do we have, Ryan?
I got a couple pictures. So if you're looking for an alternate way to have the dentist, here's a bird that pulled the tooth out for the kid. A little parakeet.
And he did that because
I guess because
they have beaks and they like
they have beaks. All right. Yeah. All right.
So that got some.
I have nipples. Can you milk me? I mean, what's this?
And the bird's going, I would prefer suet. Really? What the F? Yeah. So.
And it looks painful. Look at the kid's expression.
I hope it is, because it's an abuse of a bird. All right. What else? I got this from a listener. More cherries recommended here. Bada Bing cherries. That could be interesting.
Now that's nice branding.
From the bar.
What's that?
It looks like it's right from the bar, the picture there.
Yep.
Yeah. Bada bing, bada boom. And here's a nice sweater you should get for the holidays, Leslie.
No, I think not.
No?
No, I'm good.
If I posted this on my Meta page, would it get flagged?
They would take you down in an instant.
Mark
Otherwise,
Zuckerberg, yeah.
I mean, there are people who are running 3/4 of a movie that they have no license for, and they don't take their videos down. You post some of your own video, and they're like, "Oh, we might have to."
Mark Zuckerberg and breasts, he's got a thing, and anytime I've done anything remotely connected to breasts, he pulls it. Okay, what else we have?
Like you had elbows, and they were mistaken as breasts.
Yes. Now this is an optical illusion. Let's not get all crazy.
Pulled down too, Garry.
Huh?
This would get you pulled down too.
Yeah, that's why I show it. These are all exclusive on the Cocktail Show. That's the elf's arm.
Yep.
Right. He's just saying hi.
Yeah. And it's cold out, so there would be shrinkage. That doesn't make sense.
And I think I sent this next one to you and Leslie when I was in Janesville of people that like to litter. They threw that as they were backing out to my car.
That's a dirty diaper. Is it not?
It is.
I was at a lovely state park in Illinois. And among all the pristine beauty, some a-hole decided to drop one of these. What is wrong with humans?
You got a minute? We can go through the list.
I know.
Yes. So I did the right thing and had a grocery bag, and I picked it up and disposed of it.
Thank you.
But they were right there. They saw me in the car. They threw it out, hit the car, and drove off.
Really?
Be part of the solution, not the problem.
All right. What else?
Good. You know what? Giving people the stink eye, I don't want to be labeled a Karen, but these days I am totally like right here.
Well, there's so much going on. You want to lash out.
Right.
Although you might get shot, so you might want to just keep it to yourself too.
Yep. So.
All right, Ryan.
Okay. See ya. Have a good week.
You too.
But I gotta say, by and large, the people that I'm running into in stores, we're into that. This is the breakneck moment before the holidays, so people are really ramped up, holding doors for people, pleasing and thank youing all over the place. So, yeah, it's only the few that are screwing things.
And then my wallet's gone, but they did hold the door for me. Okay, Leslie, you want to do stories? Or what do you got?
Well,
one?
Let's do one. And let's leave on a high note, because it's never too late to fall in love. We teased this on the pre-show. Let's consider the case of 102-year-old Marjorie Fitterman and 100-year-old Bernie Littman. These two residents of a Philadelphia nursing home began dating several years ago when they lost their respective spouses. And apparently love blossomed to the point that the two decided to make this thing permanent. The couple tied the knot, and by doing so, they set a Guinness World Record as the world's oldest newlyweds. Says Mr. Littman's granddaughter, Sarah, they both love each other's humor and intellect. They keep each other young.
And you ask, why get married at that age? You want to have children, probably.
That's the. I think when you go to talk to the parish priest, you have to at least be open to the possibility of children or grandchildren or great-grandchildren and great-great-grand.
If I make it to that age, I'll be so whack that it won't matter. Nothing will matter.
And there's a girl out there who's going, ooh, I could be old and whack with that. So
yeah, finger guns. All right. We're going to play some, oh yes, we got a Christmas song, and then we'll hit the button for the giveaway. How about it? Alan, are you ready?
Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list, he's checking it twice. He's gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're away. He knows if you've been bad or good. He Merry Christmas, everybody, and happy holidays. Santa Claus is coming to town. 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 Santa Claus is coming to town.
That's Matt, Brian, and Katie, the core there of Oh Yes, and their fellow musicians. There's the tone, a couple minutes late, but it's there. We got a break for news, traffic, weather, and sports, a lot of other stuff you don't need. I got to say, Katie's holiday sweater, that's actually nice. That's one of the nicest ones I've ever seen.
For an ugly, we get into that ugly sweater season. That's a cutie, but so is she. And like Michael says, the gold standard of the GarrForce. They are so awesome. And they've got some gigs coming up this holiday season. Check them out. Also, I think it's only fair that we also promote where I'm going to be on Sunday, and that's at the Arcata Theater with last week's guests. And that's our friends with the Buddy Rich Big Band Machine. They're A Groovy Christmas. That's Greg Potter and Kathy Rich will be out there at 3:00 on Sunday if you guys have nothing else to do. Or if you have something else to do, cancel it and come out there and hang out with us.
Have a good time in the middle of a Sunday afternoon, a nice matinee. Well, that is it, and we hope you enjoyed this one. Next week, as I mentioned, we've got Dieter Sturm, Academy Award-winning snowmaker, and Pascal from the Golden Bachelorette next Friday. All right. Oh, and Jenna Duddleston, the official bartender. I mean, how packed is that?
These are just so action-packed. But in the meantime, there you go. Look at all the things you could win today.
Well, somebody's going to win it right now. Alan hit it. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Who's going to win? Scott. Alan, tell Scott what he should do.
Scott, send your mailing address to Garry Meier Show at GarryMeier.com or text it to 773-888-2157. Regular charges apply. Leslie will go down to the post office and wait in those increasingly long lines during the holiday season to get that package into the mail and to your hands as soon as the post office gets around to it.
The girls at the West Palm Post Office know me so well that
you're a regular. You know them on a first name basis, right?
And I gotta say, these things, they're heavy. It's costing me a little bit extra, but it's worth it. And honestly, because you guys are worth it. So I'm so happy.
On that note, here comes the cannoli down the aisle. It's delicious. Complimentary. Please take it. And what about the Schnauzer this weekend? Are we into the 12 days of Christmas now? Is this the 12 days into Christmas?
No, it's after.
It's after.
From Christmas through the Epiphany.
Right.
But even so, look at where we are. Lordy, 12 days away.
Yeah, Friday the 13th. Full moon on Sunday. Okay. Schnauzer?
Well, because I was paying attention, according to Tom Skilling, this is a La Nina winter. So your Schnauzer could be freezing. It could be above average in temperature. But either way, make sure that your Schnauzer is covered appropriately.
All right. And thanks, Tom. And He's with Jesus over here. And I've got my bubble. Uh-oh, angry mama. She wants some
Oh,
time.
those freaking bobbleheads. Kind of cute.
Hey, angry. Yeah.
She's lonely
Angry,
at
take that
holiday.
cat off your lap. All right, 3 in the green, gears down, flaps are down. The voice of the globe, America's podcast, the GarrForce, has landed. Talk to you Monday.
And that's all the news and nonsense for this week, GarrForce. Thank you for streaming.
If you like that, I got other stuff I think you're going to like. This is the GarrForce.
Please be sure to like and share the show on all of your social networks.
More eyeballs.
If you're not already a subscriber, show your support by subscribing to GarrForce Live YouTube channel. For those watching a replay, that button is right here. All the rest of our episodes, right here.
Boom.
Hello?
Shakalaka.
Did you click something?